Hello and welcome to fresponse.com. Today we're going to talk about fresponse Consultant Edition. We're going to cover the License Manager, the Management Console, and the subject software. So we're going to talk briefly about the License Manager. This is how we broker access to our remote subjects and how we talk to our fresponse license dongle. There's more details on how to configure and set this up, but all those are in our manuals and mission guides on our website. We're going to go ahead and let this go away and drop down to the system tray and focus all of our attention here in the Examiner tool. You can see it's cut into three sections along the top: data sources, items, and activity, with messages along the bottom. Data sources are sources of fresponse presentable data. Items would be instances of a given data source, and activity, well, that's things we're presently doing. When you look at data sources, we're going to focus here on subjects. Subjects are where we're running our fresponse software and connecting to disks and volumes, and if it's Windows, memory. You can see we support a number of different platforms: Windows, Linux, OS X, Solaris, and AIX. So this means we have an executable that can run on each one of those platforms and give you access to the disks and volumes, and of course, Windows physical memory. In addition to running the software on a remote machine, you can use the Management Console itself to collect file and folder content from remote SMB and SFTP shares. So things like NAS devices or non-Windows systems that perhaps we don't have an fresponse executable for. Then we have cloud servers and cloud files. Cloud servers is exactly like it sounds. That's talking to the cloud provider and asking them to let you create a snapshot of a running system. So it will create a volume snapshot of systems on EC2, Azure, or Google Compute. Cloud files is collecting file and folder data from a cloud storage environment. Things like Amazon Simple Storage Service, Dropbox, Office 365, OneDrive, Google Drive, etc. So that covers the basic capabilities of fresponse. We're going to focus in with Consultant Edition on how we get to the remote disk, how we make it accessible. The first thing we'll do is we'll export a subject executable. When we do that, we're going to decorate the name. We're going to tell the subject executable where to go to check that license, and of course what platform we want to run with. So in this case, we're going to select our License Manager URI. We're going to pick an IPv4 address of our local machine where our License Manager is running, and then we're going to export that 64-bit Windows executable. This is a bare executable, so it's not an MSI or an installer. We're going to take this executable, we're going to put it on a share, and we're going to get it on a remote subject machine. Once we've got it on there, then we're going to fire it up, and then we'll be able to connect to it. So we've gone ahead and set the file, exported it, saved it to the desktop. Let's pop over to the subject machine and take a look. This is the subject machine, and you can see we've got our subject executable that we exported running on it. It knows where our license manager is. It's currently offline, but gives us additional information, host name, and platform of this local system. When we press start, what's going to happen is it's going to talk to that license manager. It's going to fire itself up and make those disks and volumes, and since this is Windows, memory, accessible over the network as physical read-only devices. So when we come back to the Examiner machine, we'll see there it is in the display under subjects, and we have a couple of options. We can attach a subject target, or we could jump right into creating an image of a subject target directly. Attaching a subject target is taking that remote machine's device, disk volume memory, and making it a physical read-only device on our local machine. We're going to go ahead and select disk 1 and hit attach drive. When we do that, that's going to create a new physical disk on our local machine, completely read-only and accessible with any forensic or e-discovery tool. There we've got our activity. Activity now says disk 1 is physical drive 2. Down in the bottom right, you'll see Windows running out to assign volume letters to any volumes it recognizes on this disk. So what have we done? We've taken disk 1, we've attached it as physical drive 2 to our local machine. At this point, any forensic or e-discovery tool you want to use, you can use to examine or analyze that disk. In addition, we can create an image. We can right-click and use the fresponse imaging tool, which will create an E01 or expert witness style image of the attached device, and save it to a location of our choosing on the local machine. So essentially, that's the overall process. fresponse consultant gives you the ability to attach remote disks, volumes, and in the case of Windows memory, to create images of those devices and to analyze them with your favorite forensic tools. Check us out on the web at www.f-response.com or send us an email and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks and have a great day.